Okay, horror story. Horror is a cat. Horror is a street cat, and he came to our lives like I don't know, suddenly, like every single street cat that comes in front of our window. By the way, we feed like around 20 to 25 cats in front of our home, and Horror was one of them. Horror is I think that you call them tuxedo cats, which has like a mask and a tuxedo dress. He looks like my cat Boutique, like with that papillon this. And but Horror has a very particular face. Look, this is a tuxedo cat, like this one. Yeah, you see his tuxedo? Whoa. Okay. Sorry. Horror had always had a problem with his mouth. He was always he was drooling all the time, and we didn't know what it was. We thought that he might have an infection in his mouth, but it wasn't too bad. I'm gonna show you a picture of Horror here. And Horror, he disappeared like for, I don't know, for a week. He just stopped coming for a week, and one night at 12 o'clock he jumped onto our window, and when we saw him we were shocked. It was so like horrible to see. It was terrible. I wanted to take my camera and take pictures because I knew that I was gonna do his story, because we always ask for help when we have a serious case of a street cat. So Horror jumped onto our window, and he had a huge like abscess, like it was full of probably infection, and he didn't have a neck. Like it was so huge that we didn't understand. So right away we called our friend Jansu. Thank you, Jansu, for helping us. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't know what to do. We called her and we tell her, look, we have this cat and he has a horrible infection on his neck. And without thinking, she just came right away. Now the problem was, how are we gonna catch him? Like, he's a street cat and he's a male cat and he's a big cat. Fortunately, Horror is a very kind cat. His face does not tell that, but he's a very kind cat. So we went out hoping that we would catch him. We had to, there was no option. Like, he wanted to eat, but he couldn't eat. So Horror came down, and Texin, you can follow her here. This is her channel. Texin just took him and put him inside the box, just like that. We closed the door, the box's door, or the cage, and we waited for Jansu. Jansu came with her car. We put him in the car, and we went together to a 24/7 vet. By the way, the name of the vet, I'm gonna leave it over here too, or I think it's on this side. By the way, when you record a video, it switches, so it must be here. Vetaxis, I highly recommend it. They're great. They did a great job with Horror. By the way, that was almost a month ago, so we took Horror there, and when we went to the vet, like they were very calm. We were crazy, but they were very calm, and they looked at him, they made a diagnosis, and they just took a huge piece of dry grass. I don't know what it was, like just like this size. I have a picture of that.
bu böcek mi ya?
Yok ot bu.
Ha ot.
Ot. Yardımcı olurlar. Yarın ben
And it was the thing that was causing the infection, it seemed, in that moment. And I took a picture of it because I knew I was gonna do this. And they took that from his neck, and well, they had to wait to see how he was gonna react without that huge piece of grass in his neck, inside his throat actually. So the next day the vet called us and they told us, okay, it seems that the problem is that huge piece of grass, and they started the treatment. So they told us, okay, we're gonna treat Horror. Oh, before all this, like at the vet, when we were at the vet that night, they asked us, what is this cat's name? And well, he's a street cat, so but we were calling him Horror. So in Turkey here, Horror is korku, and we didn't know what to call him when the vet asked us what his name was. So I just said Horror, and the vet just replied korkuma, which means, is it horror? And I said, evet, Horror. And he spelled it really well, by the way, and that's how they know him at the vet. And well, they wrote down all the information because we had to keep in touch with the vet. And a week passed, and then they told us, okay, we have to operate him. We have to cut him, remove he had a huge abscess, remove all that infection, and then stitch him, put stitches to that, of course. And well, they did that, everything went well, but then he was still drooling. After that, they told us, okay, now we have another problem. His teeth, the back, I think you call them molars, I'm not sure, they were infected, so they needed to be taken, like 4 teeth. And so that was another surgery. And then, since they were already gonna operate him, they asked us, okay, do you want to spade him, neuter him, castrate him? And we said, well, I mean, yes, but we in all that moment we were thinking, oh God, this is gonna be really expensive. We're not gonna be able to afford this. But we said yes to everything, and they did it. They removed the teeth. They spayed him. He's now neutered. When a neuter cat in Istanbul, in Turkey, they take a piece of ear to know that he has been castrated or neutered if it's a female cat. And time passed, and he was still there, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then after a month and a week, something like that, they called, okay, Horror is fine, he's eating, the scar has closed, he's neutered, you can come and pick him up. And then we ask, okay, how much is it? And then they said, oh, we can discuss that here, so don't worry, Horror is fine, you can come here. So last week we went there and picked him up. They told us the price. By the way, I'm gonna explain all the details in the description, so I'm not gonna say anything here. I just want to share the story with you, and I want you guys to share the story with everyone. And we brought him, and I mean, the feeling of, like, when we released him on the street, like, we felt so good, like everything was worth it. I mean, he didn't know how to react because he had been in a cage for more than a month. And when we started, because we feed all the cats every day, and when we started feeding all the cats, he went crazy. He went like, bah, 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 bah. He ate right away the food. He was so hungry. I mean, I think his personality was always like that, but since he had that in his throat, he was not able to express or show how he really was. But I mean, he's the kindest cat. I mean, he eats like a pig. but he's so kind. He's so kind cat. He's a great cat, and he's really happy. He's healthy. He's strong. Unfortunately, he doesn't let the other cats eat, but we're dealing with him. It's not a problem. And Horror is now a happy cat. He's in great shape. And well, I just wanted to share this story with you guys. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for listening to my story. I'll see you next time. Bye. Shh.